I want to give you some advice to have a good and long life. Two things that are not the same. Increase and take care of your muscle mass. It is in order. Because it is important to have muscles. What is it important for? Not only to have muscle mass and to have strength. Is it important only for young people, or is it something that I must maintain all my life? And if I have never exercised, is it something I can no longer do, or is it something I can start to stimulate no matter what age I am? But also to know what is the best strategy to start gaining muscle mass and how that strategy should change over time. Is it the same for everyone? What nutrients should I include in my diet to increase muscle mass? What does it depend on? If I only eat protein, will I gain muscle, or is there something else I should do? Should I just eat right and go to the gym, or is there something else I can do? Because not having muscle mass is related to cardiovascular diseases, cerebrovascular diseases, metabolic problems, hormone problems, etc. So, let's talk about how to increase muscle mass. But remember, it's very important for people who are approaching 40 years old. If you haven't done it, it's time to start doing it, because this is going to determine a lot of your health towards that second half. If we want to be young, strong, in our 80s, in our 90s, in our 100s, this is the time, because that's where the major decline in muscle mass starts. So what is the best way to increase muscle mass, and how should I eat to increase mass? I want you to keep 3 things that are determinant. Number 1, eat enough protein. If I want to eat enough protein to increase muscle mass, just eating protein is not enough. And we're going to talk about very specific things about protein. I should consume at least 0.7 to 0.9 grams of protein per pound. That is, if I weigh about 175 pounds, I should consume between 120 to 160 grams of protein per day, and I can eat that divided among all my meals. It is important to remember that along with this protein, I should include at least 2 to 3 grams of an amino acid called leucine. And we are going to see this when we consume meat, chicken, fish. These foods have enough leucine. We also get leucine when we consume dairy or eggs. Step number 2, properly stimulate the muscle. This is achieved as you would expect with weights. You have to put resistance on the muscle, and you have to have a progressively higher load. It doesn't have to be a load that you get to the point of injury. There are different strategies. It can be the same weight, but then with more repetitions, or do it a little slower so that I can do the full range of motion without injury, or put some resistance bands to the same weight that I am having so that it is not more weight, but more resistance, and that I can reach muscle failure with a well-done movement, and that leads me to the load, to be progressive without the need to be increasing, as such, much more weight than I can carry. Step number 3, have a good rest, because I stimulate the muscle in the gym, but the growth of that muscle is going to happen when I go to sleep, when my parasympathetic system is properly stimulated so that all the repair functions work well. Here is a video related to rest and the organization of your gym days. For this, I have to control the stress in my day-to-day life and sleep well. There are factors that help me sleep better and repair properly, such as magnesium and choline, especially the choline that comes in eggs naturally or in supplement form. That's the best way to stimulate it. There is a form of choline that is absolutely useless because it does not enter the neuron, which is what I want. It is called choline bitartrate. If you're going to consume choline and it comes in this form, I recommend that you do not consume that supplement. A frequently asked question is, how long will it take me to see results? Men and women gain muscle mass at different rates. Women gain muscle mass more slowly due to their physiognomy. A woman gaining half a pound or a pound a month for a year may be about right. After that, you don't gain a pound a month forever. It gets a little harder and harder. A man can gain from half a pound to 2 pounds per month, depending on the stimulus and the amount of protein, but also on his physiognomy and genetics. Another big question I hear on a daily basis is, do I only grow muscle if I lift weights? We've already gone over the 3 factors that increasing muscle mass depends on, and there may be the question, hey, do I really need to lift weights to increase muscle mass? The answer is a resounding yes. I am over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70. It will be that it is already more difficult the more time goes by. It is more difficult, but it is never too late. It is never too late, and this even shows benefits. studies that speak of the relationship of generating greater muscle mass, even in chemotherapy patients, of how this becomes a great ally. Can I grow muscle and lose fat at the same time? It is possible to lose fat and gain muscle, but be careful with this. The more muscle you have, the more energy expenditure you will have, the more you will be burning. It is possible that you will lose more fat. But of course, if I lose 2 kilos of fat and gain 2 kilos of muscle, that will mean that I have not lost weight. Because a lot of people get frustrated, and when they go and get on the scale, they say, "No, this isn't doing me any good." And I tell them, "And how do you feel the clothes?" "Oh no, the clothes do. They feel different." And what do people tell you? No, that they see me thinner. Of course, because you're improving your body composition, gaining muscle, and losing fat. So, it's not just that if it's possible, it's almost immediate that as you build muscle mass, you're going to lose fat and you're improving your body composition. That's why health is not measured in kilos. And how can I really know if I am gaining muscle mass? I recommend some very sophisticated tests such as the DEXA, which is a densitometry test, as well as the bone test, where they tell you the exact amount of muscle mass you have. And it is on these tests that we can find out what is the percentage of visceral fat, non-visceral fat, muscle, bone that we have. Now let's talk about what are those myths, what are those fears that we sometimes have around muscle mass, especially one that is very widespread in women, and that is that if I lift weights, I will look like a man. And that is false. First, women don't build as much muscle mass because they don't have as much testosterone. And second, women's physiognomy makes them build muscle mass in a very different way. And therefore, when women stimulate muscle mass, body composition improves a lot. And do I have to take supplements to gain muscle mass? There are supplements that can help me, but the big answer I want you to get in your head is that you don't have to take supplements. Just follow the steps I mentioned. Another big myth is that cardio is going to make me unable to build muscle mass. And this is false. Cardiovascular exercises don't build muscle, but if you lift weights and then go for a run or ride a bike, you can build muscle and it won't hurt you. However, if I, after training in the gym, go and run a marathon, that can create a high level of stress for my body, and I won't allow it to rest properly. So, if you realize things as simple as these little tips that I have mentioned can provide us with good health, and in the long run, it is within our reach, it is for you to do it, or you can teach it to someone else. Finally, I just want you to stop and think about the multiple benefits that just a small change in your habits can generate. Before we go, I want to ask you, please, if you like these videos, share them with all your contacts, and please also leave us a like to improve the algorithm so that more people can find this content. Remember to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell. Thank you in advance for your generosity, and see you next time.